Hello, and welcome to episode 4, looking at how I built the Fair Terms checker in document assembly technology using kind of chatbots. So, episode 1 was the planning, episode 2 was why I don't recommend building in the app, episode 3 showed you a template track, kind of also another way of planning out some of the context of the app, especially good if you don't like doing the building in the app. You just want to do the thinking and then kind of palm it off to someone else to do the building. And now we're looking at the document output. So this could be if you were building a contract, if you were building any kind of report that you want. Someone's gone through a chatbot, they've answered questions, which is great. But then do you want to have a record of that at the end? Do you want to assemble a document at the end? So what I like, one of the things that's really crucial for me whenever I'm using any kind of document assembly technology is the styles. It's got to keep my Word document styles intact. I put so much love and attention into my Word document styles. They have to stay intact. Really important for me. And so you can kind of see this is not your typical kind of boring document. It's all checklist legal branded, of course. And the output here, you can see for this particular app, all of the variables in the template version are highlighted pink. Hopefully that's not how it looks when when the actual document comes out the other end of the assembly platform. So then you can see here the comments pop up as the potential um, optionality and the logic that's been applied here. Otherwise, it's kind of just spitting out the different elements. Then there's a scoring element here as well, because based on the answers to some of these questions, some of them are text fields, some of them are questions that have a ranking, then the different scores are given out, kind of out of 35. So because the platform, so what I've also done based on that scoring is kind of chunk it into 3 and created these little graphics to visually illustrate, hey, this is what your score is. So it's a little tricky to see in the template version, but when I show you the output version, it might be a bit clearer. So if the score as the person's going through the chatbot ends up at a certain kind of railway point or under a certain point, they're going to get the unfair graphic. Then if they're kind of doing a little bit better, they're going to get a different graphic. And then if they're doing okay, they're going to get, again, another graphic. Then, and you can see here, because all of these are conditional and it depends on the answers to the questions, on whether or not that will end up in their ultimate report that they get. So they'll get some reminders and some helpful hints on ways that they can improve their document based on the answers that they've given. And then there's a section here calling out potential problems to just say, hey, remember, this is with consumers, or hey, this is a small business. Then, because we don't want it to be all doom and gloom, if they've done something really well, we want to call out, this is working really well. By the way, you're already negotiating, or you're always doing this, so that's really good. Then, one of my favorite, also important, I do like to put in my readability metrics whenever I do a template or when I'm kind of providing some kind of content. I try to include readability metrics so that I'm practicing what I preach on readability. And this is exactly what we need to start thinking about for unfair contract terms, because one of the key issues of fairness is transparency. What makes a clause transparent? It's easy to read and easy to find. So if you're doing any kind of work to make your terms easy to read, doing some of this readability checking, then that's really going to kind of be a great start for your unfair contracts reviews. And when you've done your unfair contract term review, boom, you get this checked terms tracker. So why I like this, I mean, I made it, so of course I like it, but why I think it's important is some of the columns here, the legitimate business reason, Why do you need this clause in your contract? Really important to understand from a legal advisor's perspective. If you don't understand the business, you can't just be including indemnities now in your contracts with small businesses. You've got to have a legitimate business reason, and it can't be more than reasonably necessary to protect that legitimate business interest. So really important to capture that when you're doing your reviews. Also, having this idea of an overall assessment at the end. So yes, we think it's all maybe we're doing okay on each of those areas, but overall, are we balancing this particular clause? So I think that's really important as well. You can see some of the other factors that I've included here. Who checked this clause? When was it checked? When to recheck? Really important. And then we'll put the score in here again. And so those are the main things that I built out for this. So you can see it's kind of it looks like a longish document here. And now I'll show you one that I prepared earlier that's been filled out. So you can see what it kind of ends up looking like. Whenever you see Tessa Testerton, that is my test name. So we can see what was filled out here, the scores there, and then we've only got the things that relate to that score that have been put into the report. And then we can see our terms tracker there at the back. So you could go through and do the rest of the clauses there. That has been an overview of the actual document output from the Fair Terms Tracker. And stay tuned for the next episode where I will take you through the actual chatbot process. Bye for now.